and fever. Mostly fire. Will the real fire please stand up? Was the real fire the team that got blown out by the Atlanta Dream in the fourth quarter, or the team that dominated the Indiana Fever for an entire game? What changed in less than 24 hours? I think the answer is gravity. No, not the thing that keeps us from floating off the earth. The new WNBA gravity metric. The WNBA recently introduced gravity as a way of measuring how much attention a player commands from the opposing defense. Gravity isn't points, gravity isn't assists, gravity isn't rebounds. Gravity is how much a player's offensive presence bends the defense out of its comfort zone. And our own BC is currently 5th in the NBA in gravity. 5th! She's ahead of Clark, Mitchell, and several of the biggest names in the game. So if you're thinking, hey, she's not even leading the team in scoring, why did we core her? You're emphasizing the wrong word. Coring isn't for scoring. It's for leadership, team fit, winning basketball, and maybe even before the metric existed, for gravity. Because gravity isn't about what happens when BC shoots. It's about what happens because defenders know she can shoot. It's defenders refusing to leave her. It's help defenders hesitating. It's opening driving lanes. It's passing windows appearing. It's defenders staying attached to BC instead of helping somewhere else. And that might explain why the Fire looked so different against Atlanta. I'm not saying the Fire lost because we were BC-less. Basketball is never about one person. But what I am saying is that the Fire looked different. The driving lanes weren't there, the passing angles weren't there, the targets weren't there. The defense wasn't being stretched. The pressure wasn't being applied onto their defense. Atlanta was allowed to play defense from a position of comfort. And the result, 28 turnovers. Now, think about what happened against Indiana. BC was back. Suddenly, Late had room to operate. And when she has room, she does that thing she does. Creates chaos. She attacks gaps. She gets into the paint. She forces defenses to react. She scores 18, drops a dozen dimes for $120. First double-double. SAB had scenes to cut through and closeouts to attack. That's her game. Energy, movement, toughness, finding opportunities before the defense can react. Double Trouble, Double E, Emily Ensler had opportunities to create havoc, grab rebounds, crush AB, and turn broken possessions into Fire scores, and put up the first of many double-doubles for the Fire. And then there was Megan Gustafson. 22 points, 8 for 8 from the field, perfection. So how does somebody shoot 100%? Part of the answer is Megan being incredibly skilled. Part of the answer is teammates finding her. And part of the answer is gravity. When defenders are worried about BC on the perimeter, they can't be everywhere at once. Help down low comes a step late. Rotations get stretched. Passing angles appear. Suddenly Megan is catching the ball exactly where she wants it. Gravity doesn't score the points. Gravity doesn't drop the dime, but gravity creates the opportunity. BC isn't just creating shots for BC. She's creating shots she never takes, even when she isn't touching the ball. And that's what gravity is all about. If Bridget Carleton is one of the WNBA's biggest sources of gravity on offense, the Fire might be one of the league's biggest gravity neutralizers on defense. Think about the 24-karat diamond defense when the Fire force a shot clock violation. What are you seeing? You're seeing players helping, rotating, recovering, flying around, closing passing lanes, taking away driving lanes, helping each other, then somehow recovering back to their own player. Yes, the opposing offense is trying to take advantage of gravity, bending our defense. But the Fire bend. They don't break. They disrupt or they snap back. The Fire are gravity neutralizers. Sometimes they get beat, sometimes they give up an open shot, but just as often they force a turnover, force a bad pass, or come up with a diamond 24-second violation. How do they do it? Maybe they have anti-gravity sneakers. Maybe Sarama has discovered a new branch of physics. Or maybe this team is simply becoming really, really good at making opponents uncomfortable. So which Fire team is the real Fire, the Atlanta Fire, or the Fever Fire? Well, both. The difference is that one team had one of the 5 highest gravity players in the WNBA on the floor, and one of them didn't. So what do you think? Does the gravity metric explain what we saw, or am I getting pulled into the numbers a bit too much? Let me know in the comments. Also, me and the crew in 122 were fanning the flame during both coaches' challenges, both successful. If you were at the game, did you fan the flame? And if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and ring the bell. You'll be notified when new Fire and Fever videos are released. I'm also planning to host live, fiery discussions on YouTube soon, and they'll only notify you if you subscribe. I'd love to have you join the conversation as we talk about all things Fire. Until then, I can't wait for the next game. I am fired up.